can't believe that this day has actually dawned. Despite the lists, prompts, and as it turns out, lack of taxes, Kate, you look absolutely beautiful. Your mum and I couldn't be more proud of you than we are today. You look beautiful too. We couldn't be more delighted to contribute to the family. And look at your tone and the family in general. I think some of your height will go. They look up to you and your family in more ways than one. Okay, I was first aware of you when Katie told me she'd had some lads from Hayward back for coffee one evening. Now I hope there's no euphemisms in that. It was early. To start with then, I think it was Katie's Vauxhall Corsa that took her away. Good looks, sparkling performance, nice bodywork, economical, and then you realise Kate had the same attributes. But, despite your class snobbery, I would always share my car with you. My CRV would be your CRV. And better still, maybe a Mazda MX-5? We could run a hairdressing business together. I certainly knew you were the one when you and Kate went to see Derby away matches. A truer instance of love and devotion to the family, I think you go a long way to find. Ben, you were privileged enough to see Robbie the Cat Savage make his one and only appearance in goal.
Dad!
He was there in pursuit of another lost cause. And I think you were there when Crawley beat us this year, first time league team for 50 years. I'm not sure I won't be there anymore. We were there with Jonah before Old Derby. Katie, you've been a delight since the day you were born. Mind you, I'm glad to see you finally ditched that dummy. Looking at your teeth, it was a good thing as well. Despite your brief flirtation with pyromania, you've been missed since you left home with your smiling face, but not those phone bills. We, family and friends, have watched you grow from a beautiful baby. You may well have been made in Hong Kong. Right. You've matured into the wonderful lady you are today, back in mid-Sussex. You've proved a great sister to Chris and a loyal and loving friend to all your friends. And I know that these traits, together with Ben's strength of character, not to mention his sophisticated taste in cars, will prove to be a firm foundation for a long and happy marriage. And Kate, as Chris Hudson told me earlier, it's the most important day of the year. The fixtures are out for next year. Birmingham City at home first fixture. Right, thank you all for being here and sharing this special day with us. I would like to thank everyone who's helped Katie plan and organise today, especially Tracy and Sue. Sue is over here. You've done us all proud. This is a fantastic venue, and as many of you will know, only the very best was ever going to be good enough. I know you love a good party, and I'm sure tonight will be no exception. Remember, careful about dancing on these tables. Finally, before I propose the toast, I'm going to just mention some people who would have loved to have been here today. There was Davidson in Australia, Get Well Soon Dave, and Tessa. I know they're here in spirit. And we have a toast. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me enormous pleasure to propose the toast to the bride and groom.
I'd like to make a few toasts and thank a few people, so I'll try and keep it brief, but please don't neck the whole glass at first opportunity. Too late. I'll come back soon. Right. Just to follow on from what Ian was saying, of course, unfortunately there are some people that have toasted mine and Katie's hearts that couldn't be here with us today. I've thoughts with them and I'm sure theirs with ours as well. So please raise your glasses to absent and lost friends and family. Absolutely. Right, the second toast I want to make today is to the parents. For those of you who don't know our parents, they were the ones who were going to be sat in the four corners of the room for. Firstly, to the dads. Sorry, lost my space. Right, okay, let's not be about brush here. Men are useless when it comes to weddings. And I include myself. I'm doing alright. I include myself in that statement. However, both Alan and Ian, on that occasion, provided a level-headed view and advised some things that have helped us through the last year arranging this day. It's also no secret that weddings are no cheap affair. So without their help, we'll probably be sat in the local village hall back in Burgess Hill. Thank you both for helping us make this day the wedding that we had dreamed of, and as a token of our appreciation, I think Hannah's just given you those little gifts. So please accept those gifts and please raise your glasses everyone to yourselves.
Thank you.
Right, next, on to the money. Both Sean and Tracy have done nothing short of going to the ends of the world and back to help us arrange the day today. Without your help, particularly your emotional support, we wouldn't be here today. Although saying that, it would probably be easy to recall the times you two haven't been blubbering messes yourselves. To Tracy, my now mother-in-law. More mother-in-law jokes than I've got time for, but to be honest, none of them seem appropriate today. From the first time I met Katie, you welcomed me and made me feel part of the family. You more than most have been there for the both of us through the good and the bad times, so I thank you for your support and more so your patience. I also want to thank you for bringing up to Katie to be the woman I've married today. You could not have done a better job. I couldn't ask for a better mother-in-law, so here's to Tracy.
Spoon or what, Trace?
Small gift for me, that is. Thank you. Right, and now on to my mum. What can I say about my mother? She's my mum, so she can do no wrong in my eyes. I've been sometimes told that I've inherited some of her quirkier traits, but I don't blame her for that. At the same time, I can only ever hope that I've inherited all of her other traits, as I'm sure I speak for myself, Chris and Adam when I say you're the best mum anyone could ask for and an amazing person all round. To show you how amazing my mum is, me and Casey recently found out that she's been working double shifts, extra long days, and any minute she's got spared just to help us pay for this day. And probably for that amazing dress that she's wearing. I'll have another drink. I really appreciate all that you've done for me in the past 26 years, and again, thank you for supporting me and Katie through our relationship. Today, I officially move on to a new chapter in my life, but I'll never forget what you've done for me. So, this is my Okay, right, next I want to make a special mention to Katie's brother Chris. Where are you? No. I've been living with Katie for 4 years now, but before that, Kate lived for nearly 20 years, so I think that deserves a special recognition. I also want to thank him for being nothing more than another brother to me. I especially want to thank him for coming along to the stag do, so here's to you, Chris.
Come on, Chrissy, what did you get?
Thanks Hannah, thank you for being Katie's best friend, arranging an amazing head do for her and supporting us both so loyally throughout the years. You are truly a wonderful person. To Amy and Gina as well, who have been such good friends to Katie, thank all three of you for organising the hen do, helping Katie stay and looking so beautiful. So here's to the bridesmaids. My brother and best man Chris. Choosing my brother as the best man might have been a strange choice, as we're not opposed to siblings. We don't go out drinking together, we don't phone each other up every day or anything like that. The reason I chose Chris to be our best man is there's nobody in this world who I trust more and can rely on. So thank you for all your time today. I have to make a special thank you for organising amazing stacking. They were probably the most blurry and expensive consecutive 5 days of my life. From what I can remember, it was truly an amazing experience. Particularly the bit when you disappeared for 3 hours. And later turned up without a memory or a cent of the $300 you had in your pocket. What happened to you has become lost in American history up there with the Roswell landings and the JFK. Now, in a minute, Chris will say a few words. I haven't heard his speech, but I read it is tradition for him to try and embarrass me and Katie. So if that does happen, what you probably know is Chris is actually a little bit special. He's got a tendency to make things up, but if you could just all tune in. Just don't believe a word he says. In the meantime, here's to my brother and the best man, Chris. Right, and finally on to my last thank you. I'll try not to lose myself here a bit, but to this wonderful and amazing woman sat next to me, my now wife.
Glad it's dawning on you.
Okay. In October 2009, I asked Katie to marry me, and to my surprise, she actually said yes. So, with the hard work out of the way, it was just a small case of arranging this day. Well, I say arranging this day, it's mostly been Katie's work, so thank you again for everyone, and to of course Katie for arranging such an amazing day. Katie and I met about 8 years ago on a night out. That was a long time ago, but I remember the night well, so if you'll bear with me. Out of my friends, one of our sophisticated nights out, touring all the local establishments, favouring their finest drinks. Hang on. In one fine drinkery, I looked across the bar and noticed a young lady. Our eyes chanced upon each other, and for a moment it felt as if my heart missed a beat. That's what that girl before me. I knew from that moment this was the girl I was going to marry. Well, I have to say that, because that's a typical sort of thing. That's how I'd like to think I met Katie. The reality is, I first met Katie when I saw her in a grotty pub in Persian being thrown out with her mate Jess.
That's not true, is it?
Long time ago. Very drunk. However, I did know at that moment that this wasn't your average girl. This was somebody who was interesting, funny and passionate. As I got to know her, I realised she was caring, thoughtful and loving, and I've well and truly fallen in love. Where all the years have gone since then, I don't know. It's all gone so quickly. They say time flies when you're having fun, and my time with Katie has been the most... turn the page. years of my life. Through the ups and downs, the laughter and the tears, here I am, married to the same girl I met all those years ago. So my biggest thanks goes to you, Katie, for sticking with me over the years, putting up with my little foibles, and although it is said so often at weddings, you really have made me the happiest man today. I look forward to spending the rest of my life with you, and I only hope I can make you as happy as you made me today. Right, I just want to finish with a quote I once found that sums up how I feel about Katie perfectly. To the world, you are but one person. This one person, you are the world. I love you with all my heart. To my wife, Katie.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Chris, I'm Ben's younger brother, and today I'm very honoured to be here as best man. Before we get going, there's a couple bits of housekeeping Ben really should have done that. If you're wondering, toilets are just through there. There's a few questions that a lot of people ask me individually, so I want to get them out of the way whilst we're in a group. No, my parents didn't put me in the grow bag. I've never played basketball. And the weather up here is the same as it is. The first thing you should all know, and you're going to have to bear with me on this, I've never been to a wedding before. This is the first wedding I've ever been to, and I'm kind of a big role in it. I know not the biggest, but the only other experience I have of a wedding is watching the royal wedding earlier this year, which I watched with my mum. That's how sad my life is. But I'm sure some of you have noticed that there's some similarities between the royal wedding and this one. There's a bride called Kate. There's a brother as a best man. And there's a balding groom. But generally, from watching that royal wedding is when I start to panic about my duties, because I've never known what a best man was meant to do. I thought, I knew the basics, I thought it was just organise the stag do this speech, then get lucky at the wedding. There's loads more than that. And it's nice watching the royal wedding and my mum constantly going, "Oh Chris, that's what you got to do." You watch Prince Harry, you watch Prince Harry. And during, it's my shame, I had to Google the duties I have to do, and I'll, excuse me myself, rattle through some of them. The first one is traditionally the best man's speech, is to compliment the bridesmaids, and what an easy job that is. I mean, the three of you look like that. Looking so lovely as each of you do, I'm sure it's not long until you're going to be where Katie is. Any man would be lucky to have you.
You're brilliant, you are.
The other thing I have to do, people again, easy to compliment, is the mothers. And look at them, they're both happy. They look lovely, and so they should do. Because I'm pretty sure half the people in this room were involved in organising their dresses and fascinating. It's the only wedding I've ever heard of where their dresses took longer to get than the bride. But Tracy, blimey, she looks lovely this evening. Bodes well for my brother. I'm so happy for my brother that you look so lovely. Because every man in here will know every bride will turn into their mother. But Katie, I'm afraid the same is true of grooms and fathers. And I'd like to talk to you for a minute. I'd like to talk about growing up with Ben. Because I've spent literally my entire life growing up with Ben. When Ben was younger, it was easy to label him a moron. One vivid memory I have is we were kids and we were playing on a driveway, and I dared him to put a little piece of that gravel from the driveway up his nose. And he did. And he went to A&E. Twice. But despite all of these, he was brilliant as a brother. He was so brilliant. he was so creative. He made Lego models that you couldn't believe. Not like my rubbish ones from the instructions. If Admiral can agree, his Lego models were ridiculous. And through that, he got a lot of attention from Mum and Dad. When you're in there's three of us, my younger brother's down there today. There's three of us growing up, and of course we're all contesting for our parents' attention. And he always got it. And one holiday, I remember, I thought I trumped him. We were on a beach holiday, it's somewhere rubbish, Wales, I think. I made this sandcastle, and I was so proud. I did it all proper. Laid out the sand, did it all, turned it over, gave it all the magic taps. It all came up, and you should have seen it. All the turrets in place. There wasn't a grain in that sandcastle wrong. And I was like, this is it. This is where I'm going to get Mum and Dad's attention. I ran over, so proud. I was like, Mum, Dad, well, I couldn't get to them. They were in a crowd. Mum, Dad, so chugging, well done. Mum. And then I saw what it was that they were looking at. It was Ben's example. It's this. Chris can pass it round in a second, but for those that can't see it, it's a Loch Ness monster coming in and out. Go to the other table to see the ridiculousness of that sandcastle. He was about 12. I can be. But as we grew up, we became closer. Those rivalries seemed to go, and he met Katie. And generally, Katie, I've often described Katie as the sister I've never wanted. In all seriousness, with all the sisters a guy could never want, I've landed the best one. I'm sure you'll agree, I've not, I'm sure you haven't, met anyone as kind, funny and generous as Katie. And it's with great pride to say that my brother married her today. But as they grew up together, they moved out, got the house, they got Barney, who, I'm under no illusions, if he could talk, he would be up here. It seemed inevitable that they would get married. I think Katie had lost a little bit of hope on the proposal, but it came. And again, with honour, Glenn asked me to be best man, and I was so privileged, so proud to accept. And so my first duty was to arrange the stag do. Now I'd love to tell you what happened on that stag do, but I can't for two reasons. One, this is not the forum. Two, I can't remember what happened. As Ben alluded to earlier, I disappeared for several hours on that stag do. Oh, I know, it was about 4 in the morning. We went to a restaurant with discreet billing. And I disappeared. I would love to tell you what happened there. But I had $300 in my wallet, and from the bill from that restaurant, I was clearly hungry. I woke up the next day in a hotel room without remembering how I got home, and the only man in the entire world that knows what happened there is a man called Richie, because I woke up with his business card. Handwritten, whatever happened between me and Richie, it stayed between me and Richie. Driver. I know that. I found the card attached to the credit card bill that I had to pay him with because there was no money to get me home. And I woke up and I've been getting drunk quite a lot like that recently and not remembering things. I was like, where do I get this? What part of my psyche makes me get so drunk and not remember things? And I've often questioned it. Until Katie's hen do, where I found out I get it from my mum. Disappeared. And to be found later that night, outside the hotel room, with her bag everywhere. Mum, this is what you made me. arrived, the wedding happened, and it was a beautiful day, and I'm sure we all had a wonderful day. I mean, the weather's been a bit of a knob, let's be honest. Apart from that, it's been wonderful. And the last thing I have, well, the last but two things I have to do is just propose a toast. For the reason that we're all here today, to a wonderful couple, to Katie, who's now my new sister, and the best sister I could have, and my brother, who's my brother and my friend. So, ladies and gentlemen,